What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of What Words Are Worth. And today I got a great episode. Um, we all know what it's like to be out there and being an artist and then being an athlete or watching some of your favorite athletes and artists sometimes intermingle both skills and talents. So today I got a professional basketball player. Um, his name is Ade The King, but his real name is Mark Porter. He played for Wagner. He's one of the best players at Wagner. They actually did a tribute for him and everything like that. Gave him an honorary, I think, trophy and award for being such a great player. So check him out.
There's nothing to fear, except fear itself. Look, I can't tell you where the fear went. I let the voices that I hear vent. Treating life like an experiment. Was with the rhinos at the experiment. The money dancing doing pirouettes. I lost control and then I veer left. Ran into the devil, no more fear and death. My soul settled, this is mere flesh. We never gonna live long enough to know enough. I'm only invested if you can show me some. Yeah, we all connected, but you don't know I'm not. Except for respect and no passing judgment on them. I know when a smile deceiving. I know you had miles of grieving. Told too many lies to believe in. Anyone.
My brother.
Yo, what's happening, man?
Dude, how you doing?
I'm good, man. You know, it's been a minute, but I've been watching you do the music. I know you play ball heavy, I've seen you play ball and everything. So, I have a lot of questions because I'm sure, as you know, we both know being in hip hop, there's a lot of athletes that rap, and there's a lot of rappers that were trying to be athletes but never made it. And you have the luxury of having both sides of the story from, doing both. So I wanted to discuss it with you and kind of see what's the parallels and comparisons between dealing with being in basketball and then being in the music industry and things like that. So yeah, man. So one of my first questions really is when you were preparing for a game, what was the mood like in the locker room? What was that song you would listen to? Would it be something like hype? I think I've seen some basketball players do jazz. I mean, what kind of music would you listen to?
I ain't gonna lie. When I was hooping, especially when I was at Wagner, college, and then when I got overseas, most of the time at that time of my life, I was listening to probably the Black Album, all the time. That was like my pregame album. That whole, you feel me? What?
Yeah, especially what more can I say? When that come on, crazy intro on that.
That whole joint. Like you said, especially that song right there, got that Gladiator intro.
Right.
And all of that. So yeah, I used to listen to the Black Album like crazy. Besides that, I would probably listen to Wayne a little bit, but yeah, whenever I was hooping, most of the time it was the Black Album.
Okay, so then my other question would be, being in that not classroom but locker room with all these other athletes, what other genres would they play in there? So did you have some people that wasn't rocking with your music? It was yo, I don't want to hear that. So they had the headphones on, or were y'all all playing each other's music, country?
I ain't gonna hold you as far as when you're on a hoop squad, it's only 12 of us. So they ain't gonna be too much. It's mostly hip hop. I ain't gonna hold you especially, Wagner, we was pretty mixed. We had a few white boys, but even Bubba's they listen to hip hop too. Right. I would say though, but I did play football in high school. In the football locker room, you get more, you know what I'm saying? You get more different type of vibes, country and all of that. You feel me? And we ain't really, I wouldn't say we really too much we wouldn't listen to it out loud, but most people listen to their joints in their headphones.
Right.
Yeah.
So then in the locker room, I know ciphers breaking out. Y'all rapping in there. I mean, I know y'all do a lot of the cheers and chants and all the different types. Yeah.
One of my boys on Wagner, Lou, we used to do.
Okay.
We used to break out and just do random stuff, bro. We'll break out freestyling.
Right.
We'll break out, start dance battling. You feel me? We just was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The type of do it. Most of the time, at Wagner, Like that where I started like getting into music while I was hooping. So like after practice, we'll go back to the dorm room and make beats and then rap freestyle on the mic and stuff like that more so than before the games. But yeah.
Was it like you guys were going back to the dorm room like on a vibe of like we're just doing this because it's fun to do where we used to do it at when we were home, or was it like y'all was focused on like, yo, if this basketball thing don't work out, at least I know I got this rap and music thing. Did y'all record songs and have like studio going on inside there and everything?
I ain't gonna lie. At first,
Yeah.
at least for myself, like I was heavy in the beats. I was heavy at the time. Like I was heavy in Kanye, Dr. Dre. So I wanted to be a producer, like on the side type or whatever. But really, it was just something I liked to. I realized I liked to do it.
Yeah.
And then so some of the teammates, we all, we all came up hip hop. So we got a mic in the room, and so we would freestyle on beats that's already out. Everybody get a verse. We see who verse better and stuff like that. You feel me? Got towards the later in my career, like I started taking the producing a little bit more serious like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was still basketball first. We ain't really think of it. It's more so just on some fun stuff at first, just doing something outside of basketball. Like we wasn't really going nowhere after practice and be too tired. You know what I'm saying? We were in the dorm room getting creative.
So a lot of times, I know like when I was coming up, the first like basketball athlete that I saw be successful was like Shaquille O'Neal. They try, Allen Iverson tried to do it, but he got a little too violent with the ball, so they kind of cut him short with it.
A little bit too, cutthroat with his jump.
Yeah, were there like athlete artists that you were listening to? That on your athlete artists that you were listening to at that time?
Nah, only one I ever knew about back then was Shaq. You feel me?
Right.
Because Shaq went platinum, so you feel me? Like, Shaq can't stop the rain and all of that. But besides that, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't never listened to nobody. I heard there's a few verses that stick out in my mind. Well, really, like C Webb used to rap back in the day.
I remember, that's right. C Webb did drop a verse or something on something.
Yeah, and it was kind of hard. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, C Webb kind of slide. Like, I was young. I can't really remember, but I remember. Yeah, C Webb.
He did. Now you got me remembering. C Webb. Yeah, C Webb did drop a dope verse. I can't remember what it was. Who else did it? We said AI already, but then we know like
Kobe tried, but he was
Kobe tried.
Steve Stout, like he was on some like him and Steve Stout was about to. It was doing something.
Let me see. You brought this up. I actually got a story about that.
Okay, let's hear that.
So, around that time, I used to hang around Trackmasters heavy. So Steve Stout managed Trackmasters, so they ended up doing Kobe album. So I'm sitting in the lounge. Who walks through the door? Kobe comes through the door in the lounge. I'm like, I look up, and on TV, I forgot who's rapping on TV. So we watching the video. He said, "Yeah, man, all these, brothers better drop soon, because when I come out, it's over for brothers. It's over for everybody." So the same confident Kobe, same mentality. First time hearing him, that's what he said. Yo, all these brothers come out, they better hurry up and drop. So
you wasn't ghostwriting for Kobe?
Nah, man, nah. I didn't need to be honest with you. Yeah. So the Kobe that we got with the Tyra Banks, I believe he was on her, did the single with her and all that. Was not the Kobe that I met at that time. So we became cool actually because we had a cipher. Yeah, we had a cipher.
Yeah, I already know.
So it was ill because Kobe had his boys with him, and then it was me, Punchline, and we did a cipher. And Kobe was coming through. At that time, Kobe was actually rhyming like cannabis.
Oh, word?
He was rhyming like cannabis.
Okay.
And so he was like,
he was all right back then.
Yeah, because at that time, cannabis was that dude.
And I heard he was staying heavy on the East Coast, like in the summertime and whatnot.
Exactly. He from Philly, I think, with high school in Philly, so he had them Philly roots and stuff. And he had his boy with him from Philly, Brody, that was in the cipher. And at some point, Brody runs out of bars, and then Kobe says, "Cannabis line, yo, you ain't in lyrical fitness, man. You need to be." yo, So we go around a couple of times, and then it's just remain like, yo, that was dope. He was dope. And then when I did the Lyricist Lounge show, I was on the phone with Kobe because now I lived in LA, and he's out there with the Lakers. So he was trying to make it to the show, but he couldn't make it on the show, which would have been dope back then. But yeah, man, all this is documented too. It's a Grantland article that's out there that documented this whole interaction. He interviewed me about and everything, and I'll post it.
I already know you was outside back then. Like
you had to be, had to be, man. So what did you learn as a professional basketball player that you can think helps you as a writer? So those disciplines, those things that helped you as a writer. What kind of
the main thing, honestly, and I guess you could kind of apply this to anything, but it's the work. This is just the hours, how many hours you putting into it. Like as a basketball player, what I'm saying, it might take you a while to realize, that everybody's working hard. So,
right.
The amount, everybody wants your spot, so the amount of work that you got to put in to be good, like you can transfer that over, because in my basketball career I can say like I put in a lot of work, but I can say that I could have worked harder given the right, if my mind was right at certain times. Like I left some meat on the bone, so you can transfer that. You can transfer that over to. You can transfer that over to writing or music and anything, and just like the more time you spend in the studio, the better you gonna get. You know what I'm saying? That's just period, point blank.
Yeah, that was kind of another question I had, was like, how do you, like, in comparison, if I say I'm going to the gym, for me as a writer, right? I'm in the gym. I tell people that all the time. That's a phrase I use, yo. I'm in the gym, right? So as a writer, for me being in the gym, that's me playing music, listening to different artists, listening to songs. People might send me stuff to check out. There's this new artist. One of my favorites is like pretty much the Griselda artists. I love what they do. Or I might even listen to a Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole, all the current, and then I might listen to some old Nas and Jay-Z. But that's my way of staying in the gym, because they set the standard so high that if I listen to them, I want to make sure and my bars can't be below that status. You know what I'm saying? So for you, what's the equal or the
in the gym?
Staying in the gym, basketball for you as a writer now. How do you stay in the gym?
I would say for me, staying in the gym is a couple things. One is reading books.
Okay.
And really just like how it is. We make a ton of songs that people will never hear. Like
right.
You know what I'm saying? So staying in the gym is like getting on a beat that I would never rap on and trying to make a song. You feel me? Or some different vibe, different tempo. I might try to use the auto tune. I might try a bunch of different stuff that you'll never hear, but that's just me trying to work on the craft and figure out new things, how to create.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect explanation of that. Like, if you're working on different styles and flows in comparison to the gym, different muscles, different weights, and all of that stuff, you got to do that. And that's the thing. It's kind of wild, because when you could do the comparative of exercising and going to the gym, you're more free, willing to try these things for different muscles and strengthening things. But then as an artist, a lot of people will like shy away from trying something new.
Right.
But how do you expect to get better in these areas and arenas if you're not out there trying to do different things?
And you can think about it like this too. When you go to the gym, when you go to the gym and work on a game by yourself, you're trying stuff that you probably definitely wouldn't try in a constructive practice, like with your team. So you're doing all of the Heems and the Kyries, and you working on your, you know what I'm saying? You working
Yeah.
on your left, you doing everything that you can't do in a team setting, but
Right.
you honing your skills. So when you do get to that team setting, it's gonna be natural. So when now I liken that to the studio is when there's nobody in the studios, I like to record by myself. So there's nobody
Right.
in the studio, I'm T-painting, you feel me? I don't got you
I
know what I'm
think you
saying? I'm
should be
rapping
doing
like
that.
yeah, I'm rapping like different people, and then when I get to the real studio session, and then might be a bunch of people in there, but I'm comfortable with what I've been doing because I've been working on my craft by myself.
And I think one of the key things you just said, right, that I try to tell people as well is there's a difference between being the rapper aspect and having that pride as a rapper and then being a songwriter. From
Yeah,
hearing what you're saying, you're more so of like honing your skills to be a songwriter, not just a rapper. I
yeah,
think
you
some
want
people that are
to,
rappers, like they stuck in this is what I do as me, this is it, I rap like this. But songwriter is everything.
yeah, you
You
gotta be
learning all the styles. You
facts,
might even learn country, R&B. You just all the styles. So when you get in that studio, a hook might need to be made for an R&B song.
facts.
So you worked out doing all these different types of styles. So now you're able to do them. So I think, you can't be so stuck in your style and not want to try different things, working out and stuff like that.
And now you
Which
can expand the positions you play. Now instead of just playing the two, you can play the one, the two, and the three. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's the idea of doing it. I think when I was younger and kind of coming up, it was more like, you had commercial underground, and then they kind of had their rivalry of trying to figure it out until, like, I would say Kanye was the one of the first artists, if not the artist that really had that bridge when he was doing the underground but had the commercial music and mixing it,
Yeah.
right? Um, so now you can do both, and some people are still against trying to do all these things, but that's what you should be doing. And I think that leads into my next question of like being in the studio. I think you need to be coachable.
No, because I'm an engineer too, so I record
Right.
a lot of people, and you know what I'm saying. A lot of the dudes be young. Like I ain't saying I'm the whole a guru or nobody like that, but I know music, and I've been in the studio for over
Right.
10,000 hours. And if you
Right.
just getting in there, and I'm recording you, and I'm trying to help you a little bit. And your thing ain't, you ain't trying to hurt. Like, okay,
Yeah.
now I just turn in to press the button. You feel me? Now I just turn
Yeah.
the coach that sit down on the sideline and let you do whatever you want.
Yo, I remember one time, I don't know if we was watching the game or something. I might have been Charles, we watched the game or something. And I said, yo, when y'all be on the bench, what y'all be saying about the coach? And you told me, like, yo, we'd be like, yo, you don't know what you're doing, man. Like, y'all used to be going at the coach.
Depending on the coach, especially, like, nah, yeah. Sometimes, honestly, and especially too when you're young, though, like,
Yeah.
you don't realize how bad the coach was until, like, the next season, until you get another coach or something like that.
Right,
You feel me?
right.
So now you just sitting there like, bro, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you get a coach, if you had a good coach and then you go to a bad coach, or you know what I'm saying, one that's with bad communication or one that just talk to you crazy, now you just gotta a lot of players can't handle that though, bro. Like I
Yeah.
never really had a problem with being chastised because where I come from, but a lot of people can't deal with that being coached hard like that.
Yeah, and that's a different environment versus the studio. So
Right.
in the studio, you gotta know kind of your clientele and how to coach them and approach them when giving some input. And I don't think I learned once being in the studio a lot, just everybody's just trying to make the best song. And I think also having the pride of us being rappers and writing our own songs and things
There's
like
a lot
that.
of ego involved.
A lot of ego. You don't want somebody to tell you to take a word out or give you a word.
Yeah,
Like, cause you're like, I don't want to even have that hinted in my mind that they wrote for me or anything like that when it's not even that. It's just, yo, take that word out for that syllable. Or yo, that the way you're saying that doesn't work with that. So the collaborative aspect of it has kind of been kind of like sullied a little bit by the thoughts of ghostwriting and things like that. I've never had nobody write rhymes for me, but I can listen. Like if we're in the studio and you're like, "Yo, that hook sound a little too long. You should probably say this instead." I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds better for the hook." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like so,
sometimes you might even ask for like you might have a whole 4 bar or 3 bars. You might ask for a word. Like what rhyme with timeless? Like, and somebody
yeah.
in the booth would be like a bunch of people to say something crazy. Now you off to the races. You feel me?
Yeah, I think the ghostwriting aspect is more like you're doing the whole verse or the whole song.
Yeah, now
and the whole-
when you get a reference track sent to you, that's
Yes.
ghostwriting.
There you go. Right. Now that's taking it up a notch. That's taking it to another level.
Yeah.
So being in these locker rooms you've been in and playing sports, then being in the studio, because the studio is kind of like, like a locker room in some regards.
Depending on
Where you're at, right? And then you've been an engineer, producer, you're able to do all those things. Like what's your vibe? Are you in there, or do you from hearing what you said, it kind of more the LeBron style, but
yeah,
something can push you into the Kawhi though, right?
Yeah, nah, for sure. Like it depends on who it is. Like,
Right.
I'm just a nigga that's trying to be helpful, like you said, trying to make the best song. Period.
Yeah.
So, like, I can think about even homies. Like, there might be a homie in the studio.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, he might be more open to it, may not be. And sometimes what the crazy part is, bro, is like, say we get a session with somebody that's got a name or something like that. Those people will listen to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It depends. Sometimes it's just about who it is, who giving the information, like the messenger. You know what I'm saying?
So let's bring that parallel to sports, right? So, LeBron listens to Ty Lue better than maybe Vogel, right? So it's the same vibe of the studio and the coaches and the people in there, because I know what you're saying, right? You got people, your own people. You might say the same thing, and then somebody come in a little bit more notoriety, and then now they changing it, right?
Right.
But what I've realized, being in studios with like artists that's big stars, they don't mind the input if it's good.
Yeah, because they've been in the game. They understand what it takes to make a big song.
Yeah, they don't mind it.
And we don't. And sometimes it takes them to tell us that it's okay for them to be like, all right, like let's collaborate, because collaboration is gonna make the best song. Like
yeah. So that's the ill thing. I've seen some big artists. I think you just got to be very clear on your suggestion, and that's the key to it. Because I've heard people be in the studio and make suggestions that you be like, "Yo, that don't make no sense."
Just talking just to talk. Now
there you go.
We hear it. You feel me? Like
there you go. If you just talking this talk, it's easily picked up upon. So
yeah. I would say LeBron for sure, because I'm just more of an outgoing person. Even if we just rapping, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna give you some tips. I might ask you for some tips. You feel me? Like Kawhi more to himself. You know what I'm saying? He just gonna ball out. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna talk to nobody. He just gonna go in the booth, light it down, and then walk home. You feel me? So
yeah, because you have those people that just come to the studio. I'm just trying to get the song done. I ain't trying to do nothing else. I'm in and out. I ain't trying to learn nothing about nobody. Get to know nobody.
First of all, I'm giving off that aura that like I don't even mess with y'all niggas. Like
yeah, right.
I don't really mess with none of y'all. I'm just here to work and leave. Like
yeah, I kind of like, I read the room. That's my vibe. I walk in, I'm peaceful with everybody, read the room, but I'm trying to see also the vibe of, are people welcoming advice a little bit? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if I hear something that I'm like, yo, it'd be ill if he say this, or you ill if you do that, then and I feel strongly about it. I have no problem just saying it. You know what I'm saying?
I've been in the studio too with, like you said, like some artists, like I'm talking about the gangsters of the gangsters, and they'll be cool with taking a few bars, or they real respectful to the engineer, like
right.
But some of the dudes that it ain't like that, I don't know, they I think it's like you said, the ego, and they be bad disrespectful to the end. Like, if you disrespecting an engineer, I'm not even gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably not even gonna deal with you.
Right.
I'm the engineer, we already gonna have a problem. But if it's another engineer and you disrespecting him, like you feel me? Like, I ain't gonna involve myself in that one.
Yeah. So, man, so it's just so cool to hear like all the different parallels. But that's what made me want to do this interview so much, because I was like, yo, there's a way to look at it from a sports point of view. Even though me and you talk about different stuff and all that, but me knowing your background. So my next question would be this mental toughness aspect. You know, is it the same? So we got the Kobe's, the Michaels. You know, they question LeBron's mental toughness a lot. Um, let's say maybe Kevin Garnett. You know, there's people that, you know, they say like can't be broken and doing that. You know, during a game. I also think there's a mental toughness that comes with the writing as well. When you trying to come up with a song idea or you know dealing with things. So what do you see as the parallel of on the court, dudes maybe talking junk to you, whatever, and you not like falling into that, and then you being at home writing a song, not letting negative play into that too. So how do you see the mental toughness plays into it?
Like you said, again, is you can do that in multiple on and off the court. On the court, I would say more so competition wise. So say you're doing a feature, you know what I'm saying? Now is you gonna freeze up?
Right.
Or is you gonna stick to what you do, or you gonna rise to the occasion and come with your best 16 ever? You know what I'm saying? Like, or you gonna be like, you know what, I ain't even gonna get on this song. You gonna leave, like, you know what I'm saying? You gonna delete his verse after he leave? You know, all that as part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want the competition? Like, will you get on like Wayne? He ain't have like if you got on the verse with Wayne back in the day, and you was a rapper, like you had good mental toughness.
I agree.
It's know he was gonna come with it, like.
Yeah. It's ill that you brought it up from a features perspective. See, so that's kind of like it's ill how you say that, because that's kind of like the one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm getting on the same court, I'm getting on the same beat.
I've been hearing your name. They talking about you crazy. Like, nah, I'm that guy. Like,
I'm that dude. So now, you know, it's already been anticipated, this matchup in the streets of us getting on a song together, us getting on the court together. You know what I'm saying? We play the same sport. You rap, I rap. So now let's see whose verse is going to be crazier. When I used to do features, like not when I used to, I still do them, but when I used to prepare for features a lot, I would listen to, let's say, any songs that had multiple artists on it already. And then I would be like, okay, if I'm number 4 on here, I'm going right after, let's say I'm going after Big Sean. I'm like, and I'm listening to that collaborative joint. I'm like, yo, I go after, I heard everybody verse already. Yo, I'll write this. And I used to make sure that like me writing a verse would be able to fit on that track and compete. Right. So it's definitely a pride thing there. You know this person is coming with some, so it is definitely
competition. You know, people gonna be talking about it as well. Yeah. Like when you I would say when you're in the studio, or you know, artists, we stay in the studio, so it's a little different when you comes to making a whole project, or you got a bunch of fire beats, but all of a sudden you got writer's block. Yeah, you can't really, and whatever you write, you know, it ain't good enough for this beat. So it's like, I think as an artist, you gotta understand when to take a mental break as well. You know what I'm saying? You might, like, as an athlete, if you get tired, you need mental toughness to push through that. But as an artist, when you mentally tired, sometimes you just gotta take a break. Like, you can force yourself to run through these sprints, but you can't force a hit. Like, you gotta let that jump come.
Similar to, like you said, being on the court, the mental toughness of that one-on-one game versus this matchup versus this matchup is a similar thing featured on a record.
Yeah,
So
I think too. Also, one thing I forgot about when you're writing a song, the mental toughness to not just take the easy bars. You know what I'm saying? You know you can make.
yeah,
You know you can make this better, bro. Like, but you ABCing it, like.
that's the real. So that's I guess the mental toughness of that to me too is like you said getting tired on the court, that mental fatigue of writing, of sitting there to get that ball.
Yeah.
That's that mental toughness that people sometimes may ask me, yo, how you come up with something similar to you when you're writing something and I'm listening to your stuff. I'm like, yo, that's fire. I'm like, how did he come up with that? But I also know that you're trying to make this ball fire. So you're thinking different ways.
Everything
So
you come up with.
yeah, so you're thinking like, I ain't gonna settle. Similar, if you on the court, what do they say all the time? Like, yo, LeBron, he's settling for that three. You know what I'm saying?
Live by the jumper, die by the jumper, man. You gotta get to that cup.
Yeah, so you can't settle. All right, so as far as like when you're in the studio finding your rhythm playing ball, right? So what's you remember like your best game? What's the most you scored in the game?
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, different levels. I mean, as long as I played basketball, I've been in the rhythm a lot of times, my boy.
Right.
But like overseas, I think the most I scored was like 32 or something like that. But I remember I played in the Miami, like in one of them pro leagues. This was like I got hurt and was kind of like coming back or whatever. And I had been working on my game for a while, but I had like 50 or something like that. But when you get in the rhythm when you get in a basketball like on the court,
yeah,
like it's just everything. It's kind of like when you're in the studio and you doing song after song and it feels so easy. It just the bars is just and the hooks, everything is just seem like it's just coming together. You like, you know what I'm saying? Like what Eminem said, when you in that moment, like you gotta get everything that you can out of it because you ain't gonna stay in that zone forever. But
yeah,
you know you in the zone.
So, I think what's so ill about that too is the aspect of looking at a LeBron being so great for this long. Then you look at some athletes and artists that were dope for a certain period, then you kind of start messing with them and things like that. So I think that's the ill part of it too, is the maintenance of the bars to be good for so long. And are you self-aware of that, of the quality of what you're putting out? I think is very important to think about the quality of what you're putting out. So when it comes to that rhythm in a game, you can have 30. Next game, 10. Then you go on the streak, 30, 30, 30, 40, whatever. Then 10, 5, 6, whatever the case may be. So when writing a song, I think it's less likely for you to kind of have bad verses after verses unless you're not probably focused on
you only rap once a week or something like that.
Yeah, and I think if you're sometimes rushing it too.
Yeah.
Right? And kind of all right, so I guess my question would be if you're dope on the basketball court, you ill on the basketball court playing, right? So your ego is building there, right? But then you get in the game, you might be terrible those games because your ego has gotten involved. I think sometimes that occurs in writing raps. Like the person's ego of them being so dope that now they're not doing it the same way they used to because they're no longer they're in the studio, no longer they're holding the beat down and taking their time. Now they're like, yo, I'm gonna just write this right now because the ego is taking over and the quality dies down. Similar to a basketball player that may not be in the gym no more, or they just like, yo, just give me the ball. The ego, I think sometimes the ego on the court and the ego writing the rhyme can be similarly a detriment to the progress, right?
I think that's why you can always kind of compare the two in a lot of aspects, because the ego, you have to have a balance. Like you have to have some ego.
You gotta have some ego.
Got to have some ego, but you gotta have also a bit of humbleness with that ego. Like
Right.
you gotta understand, you gotta feel like you the man, but you don't gotta feel like like you gotta scream it at the top of your lungs all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like it just gotta kind of be a thing where you walk in the room and they be like, "Oh, that's him." You feel me? Like you don't gotta really say it. But I think that also, like when you was talking about the bad verses, you like an artist like you, like at this point, like you might not make a great song, but you ain't gonna make a whack verse. You
Right.
feel me? That's
Right.
like a first team All NBA, right? He might have a bad game here or there. He might not score 30 every night, but he gonna average like 25,
Yeah.
30. Even his
Right.
bad games, he might go, 6 for 13, but even his bad game, he went to the free throw line. Now he got 27. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that is the consistency, how much you've been working on your game. Because those dudes that work on their game like that, they not gonna have bad seasons. They're not gonna have
Yeah.
just long stretches of bad games.
So, it's crazy that you said that, because for me, how I look at it now, right? I've been rapping mad long. And I know my consistency. I'm self-aware how I write, my quality control. I've been doing it so long, I understand what's gonna make a person go, yo, that's fire, and that's below standard. But I've been doing it so long, it is that mindset of me, like, I'm gonna make dope music. Am I gonna sell 1 million records? Am I gonna go platinum? I don't know, because today you never know, really. But my mindset now has switched to me being more of a coach, helping other people win rings, and winning rings from that aspect too, right? So me doing the podcast, me doing all these other things, if somebody's on the come up, I can be like, yo, you might want to do this and that, and maybe help them achieve that. So I feel more I'm in that coaching realm of doing things a lot now, so kind of getting my Phil Jackson vibe with it. That's kind of how I feel. I think you have to be able to accept that role while creating.
No, and you got you got the knowledge, so it's kind of our responsibility. You feel me? Like if we want certain things to improve and we want better for our next generation, then it's our responsibility to give them the truth and the best advice. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
I got a few more questions, but so this is one of my questions that I was thinking about, because persona, right? Like having a persona on the court, being tough guy. You can't be corny on the court. You can't be soft on the court. You know how that is on the court. You gotta have your Matt Barnes and Draymond Green in you, when you need to bring it out and all that. So how do you balance that and then be able to make music that's vulnerable, that may have to deal with a love song and show that vulnerable side? Do you ever find conflict within yourself of, yo, I don't want to show that I have this other side of me going on because I'm known on the court, respected? I think that might be a conflict.
Maybe when I was younger.
Okay.
A little bit, because when you're younger, you know everything is, macho, toxic masculinity, they call it. But when you're younger, it's like, I ain't gonna be no B, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do this, like, you know what I'm saying? So maybe, but you know what I'm saying? For the most part, my personality, I never really had a problem, you know what I'm saying, mixing the two or being vulnerable. I guess I never was super vulnerable in my music. I think as I grew as an artist, I learned how to tell my story, you know what I'm saying, in better words.
Yeah. And I think we got more examples of people that was able to balance both.
I was about to say, I think I ain't even gonna lie to you. Cause when I first started making music, like I ain't gonna lie, we was rapping just to rap. I wasn't really trying,
Right.
you know. So I was playing. We was rapping just to rap, but we was rapping like everybody else rapping, talking about guns that I didn't have, and you know what I'm saying.
We all did, man. We all. It's like, I think when you're young, I watch the kids now when I'm in school teaching the middle schoolers and all that. I'll be like, yo, y'all just talking the crazy recklessness. But I'll be like, I was talking the same madness. My favorite rapper coming up was Cool G Rap, who everybody idolizes, Jay-Z, Nas, and he was the gangster rapping, and that's who I loved. But I loved him because of the wordplay. I was like, this dude is ill rapping. I really couldn't identify with what he was talking about from living it, but that's what it is. It don't matter if you live in it, right? As a kid, you're just trying to follow
you
your
might
idol.
not be living it, and you hear what you hear what they talking about, and everybody love them. It sound cool, and not only that, you see what they talking about going on around you a lot. Of times. So you just kind of falling into it. But I think when Kanye came out and Drake came out, is when it's like, oh shit, like I can rap about love. You feel me? Like I can rap about, you know what I'm saying, different type of stuff. It kind of open your mind, be like, all right, I could put, you know what I'm saying. A lot of another person who I listened to at that time too that opened my mind was T.I. Because you think trap music, you think it's all just trap music, but I mean it was trap music, but he got songs in there like I Still Love You. You feel me? Don't hate me, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you that was like, okay, like now you got to get dynamic and really, you know, you learn how to express yourself. And I took writing classes in college and stuff like that because I was like, writing scripts and stuff. But so I think it comes with age and maturity, honestly.
I think so too, because I was talking crazy as a kid.
Yeah, I was talking crazy. And I know the wordplay with you, the wordplay with it.
I was just off the chain, you know, everything under the sun that was just not me. Just because my favorite rapper was doing it, I wanted to be my favorite rapper. That's what was popular. So that's why I can't get too crazy on the youngins because I'd be like, I was doing that. Understand. I just try to guide them like, yo, that ain't gonna work at the end of the day. But like, you gotta let them grow out of it. So
they gotta see something else. They gotta see something else.
They gotta see something else. Which is the main thing. Exposure is a huge thing. If you get exposed to stuff, and that goes from rapping, that goes from sports, and you get exposed to other things, then you're likely to, and that could be nutrition, that could be working in the gym a certain way, that could be new genre of music, that could be a producer, it's engineering, it different digital audio workstations, you know, all of that stuff. It could be Logic versus you can be pro, you know.
I didn't learn how to shoot until I was out of college, and because I got exposed to a new way to work on my jump shot. And you feel me? So it's like all of that time I was doing it the wrong way, but I was still good. And then I got exposed to something that made me even better at 22. So it's crazy.
So I got this last question here, man. Starting five, man. Starting five. And some coaches. So I want to do this kind of like just starting different, you know, starting five, man. So starting five rappers that will be in your basketball player positions. So I'm gonna set it off for you, so you get where I'm going with it. So my coach, first of all, I'm going with Dr. Dre.
Okay.
I got Dr. Dre out there on the plays. Yo,
that's your head coach.
Yo, Dr. Dre. Then I got my assistant coach. I'm gonna go with Cool G Rap because everybody references him in their songs. So obviously they know the skill level. He keeps his streak too, so he ain't afraid to come off the bench and get up on you with that. But then I also have, this was a toss up. I got DJ Premier, you know, because I like the essence of what he keeps, what he got going on as an assistant coach. So I feel like I got everything covered with, you know, from a commercial and a message. So basically the message they're giving on the court, I got that going. So those are my three coaches there.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna give you my starting five with it. I'm going for the center. Center, I'm going with Jay-Z. So he's gonna be my center. The reason why, because I thought about Shaq. So Shaq was the most dominant. Hov is the most dominant.
Okay.
he been here. So when people always ask me like, "Yo, why you Jay-Z? Who's the GOAT?" You know, for me it was Nas and Jay for a minute, but then Jay's track record is just too consistent for me. So I had to go with Jay. And when people say greatest of all time, the only person that's been here all the time at that level has been Jay-Z. He's been here since '89. So for all those out there that's like, "Oh, you picking Jay-Z?" Jay-Z been here since the '80s, y'all, and he's still incredible. But let me go back to my shooting guard. I'm gonna go with Nas. You know, I got Nas. Shooting guard. Let's go with the shooting guard. Woo! And then my point guard though. All right, this is I was going back and forth with this.
A tough one.
Coming down though, RZA, because he was able to get the woo situated. Everybody
got everybody. You feel me?
RZA. Woo! I thought about this. Then I got for my small forward. Man, I still was kind of struggling with this. I'm gonna go with Kendrick. I'm gonna go with Kendrick for small forward.
That's tough.
Then power forward, I'm going with Conway, the machine. Coming with the machine. Yo, my team is serious with the diversity, yo. And everybody's
you went new and old. I see what you're doing.
I got everything covered with that. So then I'm gonna go. Then the last one, a 6-man for me. I'm going with Big Sean.
That's okay. That's a surprising one.
Big Sean can come off, give you the Grimies.
Nah, Big Sean's got a slept on catalog for real.
Oh man, I watched his Tiny Desk concert. If you ever get a chance, check that out. It's kind of recent. Man, he reminds you of so many songs he got. You'd be like, yo. And then you listen to the bars, you'd be like, Big Sean is super underrated. So Big Sean, for the fact that he's underrated, my 6-man coming off the bench, he'll give you the girl joint, give you the Grimies, he'll battle you.
He'll give you the hits.
Give you the hits.
Bounce back.
Yeah. And then anytime he's featured, he's never below.
Yeah.
So that's mine right there. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a good one.
Yo, man, you know, I left some people off, of course. You know, the Black Thought was in my head, of course. You know, there's some guys out there, even some females. I really should have threw Lauryn Hill on here, to be honest, too. I probably should throw Lauryn on there, but I'm good with my situation there, man. So, you know, what you got going on with
So this is how I'm gonna do it. I think. So I'm gonna go. This is a tough one.
Yo,
the head coach is so important. Like
head coach.
This is what I'm gonna do though.
You can repeat any of mine too.
For my head coach, for my head coach, I was gonna go Dr. Dre.
Okay.
He producer. I'm from the West Coast. You feel me? Like 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Dogg. That was like the first song I knew word for word as a kid. So I'm gonna go Dr. Dre as my head coach. For my 2 assistants, I'm gonna go OGs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Kool Herc.
Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna go Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin he does it all. Rick Rubin does it all. So you got the essence. You got the essence in there with Kool Herc. So you know he gonna know
Dr. Dre bridging the gap.
Yeah.
2 old heads as my assistants.
Yeah, Rick Rubin is definitely legendary.
So then I'm gonna go. At the point, I'm going Lil Wayne because he like Allen Iverson. He changed the game.
Lil Wayne.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be Wayne.
Yep.
At the 2, I'm going Hove because he Jordan.
Okay.
At the 3, I'm going Pac.
Whoa. I I didn't even think of Pac like that. You know, I might have thought about Big at one point, but I can see Pac though. I can see
Yeah,
Pac.
I gotta have Pac in there. He a dog. He, you know what I'm saying? He gonna he gonna do all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
work.
He's scrapping. He arguing with everybody in the
He
court. He
arguing
not
with
having it.
everybody. You feel me? Like he Rasheed Wallace, Draymond Green,
He's all
all
that.
the
You
things
right. You
rolled
right.
into one. Then these two is my toughest, but it's tough. I'm gonna rock him at the 4.
Okay. This is serious here.
I'm going Big at the 5.
Ooh. Man.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is hard.
I got a 6 man.
Yeah, you gotta get that 6 man.
My 6 man, Kendrick.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
you know what's good about that too is I can see a Kendrick 6 man not being affected and upset that the others are starting.
It's all OGs.
Right. Right. He wouldn't be upset with that because he's respectful to understanding the connections of the eras.
He gonna come off Jamal Crawford and give you 50.
Right. Right. That's what he's gonna definitely do. He's gonna definitely do that. But yo, man, this has been a great episode, man. I think people gonna love the fact how we breaking down, especially learning how you break it down from a professional aspect, which I had no other idea, or I just knew thinking about it. I was like, yo, I'm interested in seeing what the parallels are, because you know, hip hop, rap, it's a sport in itself. So then being on the court, there got to be some comparisons there. But yo, let everybody know about your new project out. Just say your name again. I know it's Ade the King, but some people might not be familiar with it. Representing you from Reno, Nevada, all of that stuff, man. Big yourself up, man. Tell us about the project. Tell us your handles, social media, all of that.
Yeah, for sure. Again, my Instagram, Twitter handle is King Olashowo. You feel me? Olashowo is OLASOWO. Again, like he said, my last project just came out last month, a few weeks ago. It's called It's Still Early If You're Reading This. And about 5 joints, you feel me? I'm doing EPs right now. Probably like every 2 months, I'm gonna drop a little EP, just like you said, just to stay sharp, stay in the gym and whatnot like that. But
and you got videos, a lot of video footage on his Instagram for those songs is real dope. He does some dope visuals for them, so check that out on the gram.
Yeah, I do a lot of those little short videos.
Let me ask you, are you? Because I remember you were Forever Dream is your company.
Forever Dream, you feel me? Forever Dream, the company that we go on, the Forever Dream Entertainment, you feel me? Got the clothes, just started dropping the clothing line. You can check that on the Instagram as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in here as well. Like I wanted to ask you, right, with Forever Dream, so you also provide directing services as well. And
we do. I started off just like as kind of like a label, a brand, just for my, for the music, and we had a studio. But yeah, then we moved into doing music videos,
right,
editing, and writing and stuff like that. So now we just doing I'm just getting the merchandise, the clothing brands. Really, I'm focusing on that right now to try to get that cracking. So just trying to stay.
I always love that logo, man. When y'all see the logo's fire.
The logo's ill. Like everybody do a double take on it. You feel me? It really looked like a pyramid. You know what I'm saying? It's really on some Egyptian stuff, but yeah. But besides that, man, like I said, just staying active. Again, check me out on all your streaming services. Ade The King. And besides that, man, I'm just outside. Pretty soon, hopefully, get words on the song with me.
Man, I think we've done 2, right? Within the time I've known you, I think I've been on 2 of them. I gotta get you on one of my joints too. I'm just working on different stuff too.
You was randomly, bro. Because I remember when I first met you, I wasn't the artist I am now.
Yeah.
But I think that you could see that I could get better. You feel me? Like, cause you was helping me out in certain situations. So much appreciated.
Yeah. Nah, man. Hey, man. If you hustling and you showing a passion for something, I'm gonna support it. So, for
I
sure,
remember
man.
the first time I heard you freestyling in the car with Carl.
Yeah,
Me
man.
and Carl looked at each other like, "Bro, what the? Who is
Yeah, man.
this?"
Yo, I love this, man. I've been doing it for so long. Like I said, it's so ill because meeting you and knowing you, we worked together, and then I didn't know how well you play ball. So it's like both of us.
Don't forget to tell the people that I was playing overseas when you came to Germany to do a show.
I know, and then
And I
we was
paid
at it.
for
We
the
was,
show.
we was partying. We was out there at the party
Yeah.
together and everything overseas, which was
Yeah.
dope too.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. So, man, yo, great episode, man. Thanks for coming by, man. Ade the King. Make sure y'all go check his projects out. Support Forever Dream Entertainment and everything that they got going on. I'm gonna put all of that stuff in here, all the tags and everything in here. And I'll catch y'all next episode. Tell me what your words are worth. Peace.
Appreciate you, brother.
Sign up now at elevate.miami.edu for my course, Organized Rhyme. Looking at the word legacy, while involving some wordplay, I'll use the first syllable to build upon. We'll use the first syllable, leg. For the second syllable, we'll use an. And for the third syllable, we'll use the word knee. So now we have leg and knee. Can we use it in context with legacy? Let's just see. Wordsworth Productions with a S.com for merch. I got 2 books available right now. Words Are Worth Volume 1, and I also have a children's book called Socks. Age range from 12 to 15, so it's kind of like the middle school and high school age range, but adults can read it as well. Shout out to our sponsor, the Wizker. If you're into skincare, the Wizker will help prevent razor bumps and make sure you got smooth skin all around. Make sure you order it on Amazon, the Wizker. Make sure you check out wordsworthproductions.com. There you can book me if you want to book me for shows, consultations, panels, and things of that nature. And also, it'll give all the upcoming shows that I'll be attending or performing at or appearing at as well. Wordsworthproductions.com. We write plays, books, movies, anything that deals with writing and creativity. Contact us.